hey kids, Konami just dropped the ban list, so there's no real use, making a preamble and actually talking about that. I don't have a script. God knows I'd mess something up. What's more important is that we go react to that list. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, wow. Now that is something right off the bat. Artifact Scythe and Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. Now those are good hits. Those are very good bans. Scythe is a bit late. People weren't really abusing Scythe last format. I mean, Ishizu tier kind of ruined that with the shufflers, but good to see it go. Very happy with that. Barrier Statue is slightly concerning. While I do think that it's a serious problem, especially with Kashtira being able to summon it off of Great Raptor Arsenal Falcon, it was kind of like the only thing, but one of the only things, keeping Flu in contention with Ishtir, if you could even argue that it was in contention in the first place. I'm glad to see it go. I absolutely hate Fluandries, but I don't know. Feels like it could have waited just a little bit longer. But, I'm happy to see it. As long as they did something that's here, roughly as bad as this. Let's see here. Anything else? Kid Kolo's ban. Now, that's interesting. We did see that in the OCG, but it didn't really stop anything. Made tier players kind of have to cope a lot more by playing cards like King of the Swamp with Cherubini and Draco Sack with Kashtira engine, but I don't know. Does this really do anything on its own? I don't think it does. Also, Ronin's still here. Free my boy. Anything else? Elf. Oh, wow. And that's one I don't think anybody expected. I think it's a very deserved hit. Elf is an insane card. In Sprite, in Tearlament, in any deck, really. Elf is just nuts, but seeing it go so soon is strange. I'm glad they're taking out problem cards now, but I don't know. This feels a little premature. Anything here? Let's see here. S0's still on the ban list. That makes sense. Zenmaidy's still here. What the hell? I'm bringing it back. Dust Shoot's still here. Man, that sucks, but it's for the best. Let's see here. Agito. Okay. If this is the only limit to the Ishizu engine, that doesn't really do anything, at all. Agito's kind of like the worst one. Like, the shufflers are insane, because obviously they're just way too strong. Kelbeck is, at minimum, like a pretty good hand trap. Agito just kind of doesn't do anything. I mean, it mills 5, obviously, but in the Tearlament's mirror, that's not really something you want to do unless you're sure that you have the shufflers to deal with whatever you milled their opponent. I don't think that's going to do anything. Oh, but limiting Kelbeck, Keldo, and Mudora too. Okay, if they've limited all of them, yeah, that probably does a lot. I would have preferred to see Keldo and Mudora banned with Kelbeck and Agito at 3. I think that the shufflers are the problem with the Ishizu engine, not the millers. But this will for sure help out a lot. Obviously, we still have every tier name. We still have the field spell, so it's not like it'll be hard to find these cards, but it'll definitely hurt a lot with only getting one shuffler per name, 2 at most per game. I can still see tier being the best deck. I guess we just go back to danger tier, which I'm not entirely against. I think that was a pretty cool deck, but I don't know. Really, I'm just sick of tier. Oh. Except that they limited all the names to fusion summon. Okay, that does something. Is Tier dead? Let's see here. You got 3 names. Those are your primary way of milling. You can't reliably find the Shizu pieces without getting lucky. I guess you'd have to do stuff like popping your own names with Perloreno more often now. This does do it. So let's see. You got 3 Sharon. There are three names functionally. One Havnis, one Merly, one Sharon. 3 Reinhardt. Reinhardt's untouched. 3 Tearlaments Kashtira. You've also got Scream to dig deeper too. I don't think that the deck is dead. No, not at all. You can definitely still play Tier, but it's definitely a far cry from what it was yesterday. Okay. No, I like this. I like this a lot. It's pretty good. Age of Fairy Dragon, that makes sense with the errata and Maze of Memories. Nothing really to say about that. I don't think this card is going to do anything. I think that obviously it reads very powerful on paper, but I think that the decks that can actually make use of the field spell pivoting effect are just going to be pure cope, and the decks that need that special summon, or rather want that special summon and can make use of it, probably have better ways to do it. I don't know. There's probably something that breaks this, but I don't think we'll know what that is until down the line when people actually like dig into whatever format with a historical understanding of the card pool and of the game, similar to how so much of Edison format was completely untouched for years. No Tier field spell limited. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. And nothing semi-limited either. I'm shocked Recital Starling isn't at 3. I think that card is just not even remotely a problem. I mean, searching DD Crow is pretty good, but is it though? I mean, we're going to be going into a meta where a lot of decks are benefiting from Macrocosmos, Flu Wanderers. I still think Flu is playable in some capacity, even without Barrier Statue. So, like, Flu, Kashtira, it's probably more, but don't think Recital Starling is really going to do much. Desires at 2 is probably perfect, honestly. I think it's too good for 3, but 1 is just not enough. All right, I'm just going to take a look at all these. Let's see here. Destrudo to 3 makes perfect sense. One thing that I do find interesting is Destrudo Unlimited at the same time as Ancient Fairy Dragon, because obviously Destrudo represents AFD, so it's not too outlandish to imagine people using Dragon's Ravine as like whack terraforming in some decks, but paying half your life points minus 1,000 just for a field spell, and you have to have a monster on field and a card to discard. I think that's a bit too high investment, honestly. Even though field spells are insane, I mean, like Perloreno's insane, Rich Salt's insane. I just don't think that's good enough. Jet Synchro to 3, perfect sense. The card's doing nothing. Same with O-Lion. Servant of Endymion should have happened like last year, honestly. True King Lithosogem, the Disaster. Yeah, that card could go to 4. I don't care. Yatagarasu is gonna make people that click on Screen Rant articles bat chest, but it won't do anything else. And Spiral Resort, who cares? They could have the entire archetype back and it would do pretty much nothing. The deck is just not very good. It's an interesting list. I don't think it'll change much. Well, no, it'll change a lot, but outside of Tearlament, I don't think it'll change too much with the game, with the meta. It's very interesting to see what it will do for the game. Obviously, Kashtira is very good. Obviously, Flu is very good. Branded and Sword Soul are probably going to be coming back into the picture now. I don't really know what else there is to worry about, what else there's to watch out for, but I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait for the team YCS at Vegas to see what people are actually playing. Dark World seems pretty good, but it's kind of dependent on if people cut their Bistrels from the deck, because like a lot of there are a lot of decks in the game, Dark World, Mathmech, etc., that were really, really held down by the shufflers and by Bistrels that people were playing to deal with Telements. So if people actually start cutting Magnamut, Druis Worm, and all the other buddies, it'll be very, very interesting to see where we go from there in terms of what decks are playable again. I'll be looking forward to playing with Mathmech some more. I don't know if I'll quite pivot to that as my main deck, but we'll have to see. Up till next time, see ya.